The people that I'm talking to, that I worked with on the side of just being regular petty officer McCollum in the Coast Guard. So they are not fully aware, but they have contacted me and said, you know, Aaron, something weird is going on, and I can't quite place it, and they've never seen anything like it. I have a few other friends of mine that are actually in Coast Guard intelligence that have contacted me because they are aware of this kind of campaign that I'm doing, making amends for what I was a part of. So there is big movement there, absolute. The contacts that I've spoken to said that even they, when questioned about it, they're told that it is strictly for enforcing to the anti-piracy and to help with escorting movements through the Suez Canal. Because apparently the Suez Canal is so backed up with ship transports. I have never, ever heard of there being a problem with backed up ships going through the Suez Canal. Never heard that.
Okay, so if they're going through the Suez Canal, where would they be headed? I mean, there's got to be more than one destination for those ships, right, in theory?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, for example...
Well, I mean, the Suez Canal is a main shipping canal.
So they could be just going through to bound for other areas, right?
Oh yes, no,
not just all headed for Yemen.
No, not at all. I mean, because if they did that, it would raise too much suspicion. So what they do is they will indeed keep operations normal. Container ships, oil ships will still be allowed to go through it. It's just, and this, the reason they're able to do it so well is because the location of the Stargate in the Gulf of Aden is kind of in the off-beaten path. It's not actually directly in the channel.
Right. But as far as, you said that you have information, and I don't know if this is public information, that there are ships from other countries. In other words, I think you mentioned Japan and China and Russia.
It is public information.
Okay.
There are European Union ships, NATO ships, from Japan, Russia, Germany, the UK, United States, Australia, and the list goes on. And yes, it is public information. They're talking about right now. It will be included. I have specific information that when I give it to you so that you can, look through your own, it's absolute. This is out there. Get on your computer, Google Gulf of Aden, Google Gulf of Aden Stargate, Google War on Yemen. You Google any of those things and you will get pages and pages of not just articles, but of YouTube videos and other pieces of information. People need to look at this because with that, once you start digging, it's amazing, not surprising to me, but it'll be amazing to people that they will realize that you will see an article and it's directly tied to the label of false flag war. We are going to be moving massive troops into Yemen. Yemen is the next battleground, and it's going to happen this year. As far as my knowledge and my intuition and everything else that I've gathered, it's going to happen this year. If it doesn't happen this year, and if I'm wrong, good. I hope that my intuition's wrong, but unfortunately, my little gut feeling that I get is 99% right, and sometimes I actually get angry at myself when I'm right about things because I don't want to see these things happen. So if year 2010 goes on and we don't go into a police state or we don't have more false flags in the country, if this, what I believe is going to be a terrible war happening in Yemen, if that does not occur, then good. But everything that I've gathered, all my information, my contacts have told me otherwise.
Well, let me ask you this. I know you have some interesting abilities associated with water. Isn't that right? And I remember that dolphins have been used by the military to actually perform feats and to actually do operations basically over by Saudi Arabia and over in that area. So I'm thinking that with this, what's going on in the Gulf of Aden, basically there has to be something involving dolphins and possibly other sea animals like whales. But I'm just curious, has there been any information about how about the dolphins in that area or anything else?
The only information that I have for a fact, which is public information, is that dolphins are being used in all the waters around the Middle East for reconnaissance missions. They actually have dolphins that are trained that have actual surveillance equipment that are attached to them for looking for underwater mines, looking for bombs under piers, even under ships, oil rigs, and even information gathering. They have dolphins that are set up with certain information sound recording equipment that actually can record sound on land that travels through the water, because sound travels at a much greater distance and can keep its real concentrated frequency much longer underwater than it can in open air. Do I have any information that dolphins are specifically being used in the Gulf of Aden for whatever intents and purposes with this Stargate? No, I don't. But based on my direct work with dolphins, with Project Seagate, I would not be surprised, because dolphins have been discovered because of their frequencies, because of other abilities that dolphins have that people are not aware of. They discovered a while ago, however long, at least I know for at least 20 or maybe even 30 years, that dolphins directly have, because of their frequency, because of what they can do, are almost used as a medium for travel via the Seagate.
What do you mean by that? Travel? Are you talking about time travel?
I'm talking about not just time travel, I'm talking about traveling to other locations in the universe.
Okay, and how are dolphins used in that regard?
It was found that, with the Seagate, everything is done, frequencies which are used, which they found, frequencies are used to actually put you on the molecular level in a different state. This way your body can actually handle traveling great distances.
Okay, I know what you mean. You mean, in other words, if humans are put in contact with dolphins and do what's called in training,
yes,
they get aligned on the same frequency as a dolphin, and that heightens the human awareness, such
Absolutely.
that if you then, I'm just, I'm extrapolating here, but because I've swam with dolphins and I know this happened to me, I'm guessing that's kind of what you mean.
You're absolutely, you're on the right track. Yes, one of the things that they did that I was a part of was called, let me remember what it was, psychic echolocation. What's the word I'm looking for? This always happens when I start talking about this. I'm sorry. Sometimes my mind goes blank. What they discovered, and it can't just be any human. It has to be people that have received certain training, mainly people that have some amount of psychic ability. They've learned that they could put a person in with these dolphins, and actually it would cause deep molecular and psychic vibrations to happen, where the dolphin is almost used, it is used as a medium, and this person becomes a conductor, and they coexist in this way, so that it really heightens the senses of the psyche of a person.
Right. And so then what would happen? I mean, what would be? I mean, this is, I guess we're kind of going off into the area of speculation. Although it occurs to me that perhaps this is part of your buried memories.
This is the thing, that the subject that I myself have been working the most intensely on. The whole thing with the Golfo de Adén just kind of fell into my lap through the people I know, and then taking it back to the false flag operations that I'd helped orchestrate from July of 2008 till the beginning of March of 2009. Also meeting individuals that were black ops that had been really, in a way, blackmailed to be in this country to do false flag operations, specifically military personnel from other countries that had that were of Middle Eastern descent. They didn't care if they were, if their family had originally come from Iraq or Pakistan or India. It didn't matter as long as they had the training.
And they looked the part.
And they looked the part.
Is the point. Okay.
Yes.